Welcome to This Explainer. I'm Sarah. Every crime leaves an echo. Sometimes those echoes just kind of stay silent for years or even decades, waiting patiently for investigators to finally catch up. Well, today we are diving into an investigation that begins with money and a trail that would ultimately expose one of the absolute most powerful organizations in sports history. This is the story of the fall of the FIFA empire. For decades, the world's most powerful football organization was raking in billions of dollars. They controlled the World Cup, which is arguably the biggest sporting event on Earth. But there was this really wild paradox at play. Right alongside those billions in legitimate revenue were billions operating completely in the shadows. We're talking luxury hotels, private jets, and secret payments, hiding a dark financial system that fueled a scandal so vast it literally shook international sports to its core. What investigators ultimately uncovered wasn't just isolated corruption by a few bad apples. It was a complete, systemic culture of graft. To really grasp how monumental this investigation was, we first have to understand the perceived invincibility of FIFA during this era. To the world, FIFA presented this incredibly unified face, the beautiful game. You had generations of fans watching the World Cup, brought together by a sport that generated billions in broadcasting rights and massive corporate sponsorship deals. But right behind all those global celebrations lay a pretty dark reality. Rumors had actually haunted the organization for decades, just endless whispers of persistent bribery, secret backdoor deals, and bot votes for the world's most coveted tournaments. There were constant corruption allegations involving officials from multiple countries, specifically regarding the bidding processes for lucrative broadcasting contracts and the hosting rights to the World Cup itself. Yet despite all these repeated accusations, very little ever changed. For a long time, the world genuinely believed FIFA had become completely untouchable. But here's the thing. As untouchable as they felt, their empire had a fatal flaw. They were leaving an undeniable paper trail. Investigators began noticing some highly unusual stuff. Unexplained large payments just zipping quickly across borders. Money being funneled through incredibly complex shell companies that were clearly designed to obscure the true owners. Secret offshore accounts acting as holding tanks for illicit funds. Millions of dollars that seemed to just disappear into the shadows. Honestly, they thought they were hiding the money, but in reality, they were just drawing a massive, highly detailed map for investigators to follow. Now, the big breakthrough in this case actually didn't begin where FIFA was headquartered in Switzerland. It began somewhere else entirely.
Here is exactly how the trap was set. Step 1. A FIFA executive allegedly accepts a massive bribe in exchange for lucrative media rights or tournament contracts. Step 2. To hide it, the money moves through a network of international shell companies bouncing between different jurisdictions. Step 3, and this is the fatal mistake right here. Because the US dollar is the global reserve currency, a wire transfer moving between two foreign countries often clears through a United States bank. And step 4, the exact moment that money touches the American financial system, boom, FBI and IRS jurisdiction is triggered. US authorities had found their backdoor into the entire global scheme.
What's absolutely crucial is how meticulously this trap was sprung. The FBI and IRS didn't make a big public scene right away. They quietly assembled emails, they scrutinized thousands of bank records and analyzed those specific wire transfers that passed through the US, and most importantly, they secured witness testimony. A former high-ranking FIFA official named Chuck Blazer actually agreed to cooperate. Blazer was known for this incredibly extravagant lifestyle. He famously kept a separate apartment in Trump Tower, literally just for his cats. Facing massive tax evasion charges, he became an informant. Using a keychain with a hidden microphone, Blazer secretly recorded conversations with his colleagues during the 2012 London Olympics, gathering hard proof that corruption had existed inside FIFA for decades. He wasn't the only one, and suddenly the walls of this untouchable empire were beginning to crack.
After years of quietly gathering this mounting pile of financial evidence, the investigation finally stepped out of the shadows. It all came to a head on May 27, 2015. Several FIFA officials had gathered for an annual congress in Switzerland, treating it like their usual grand celebration of power. Then, at 5 a.m., Swiss authorities, working right alongside US investigators, arrive at the luxurious Bar au Lac Hotel in Zurich. At 6 a.m., instead of getting ready for their meetings, executives are woken up by unexpected knocks at their doors. Authorities moved room by room, armed with extradition warrants. And by 8 a.m., 7 top officials are arrested and escorted out. Images of these incredibly powerful executives hiding behind bed sheets as they left a 5-star luxury hotel under police escort spread around the entire world instantly. The secret was officially out.
The fallout from the Zurich arrests was immediate, and the charges announced by the United States Department of Justice were absolutely sweeping.
$150 million. I mean, let that sink in for a second. According to prosecutors, that is the staggering amount of money in bribes and kickbacks that had flowed through the FIFA system. This wasn't petty cash, this was a sophisticated, multi-generational scheme enriching executives in exchange for broadcasting and marketing rights to major soccer tournaments. Decades of alleged corruption, all boiling down to this massive, jaw-dropping sum.
The Department of Justice came down with massive charges: racketeering, which is a charge normally reserved for taking down the mafia, plus wire fraud and money laundering conspiracies. The consequences were historic. Sepp Blatter, the president of FIFA and one of the most powerful figures in all of sports, resigned days after winning re-election and was later banned from the sport entirely. UEFA president Michel Platini became embroiled in the controversy and was also banned. Multiple officials pleaded guilty, faced extradition, or received significant prison sentences. The scandal forced massive governance reforms and transparency measures inside the organization, but for millions of fans, trust in the institution was fundamentally broken.
This brings us to the core philosophical takeaway of this entire investigation.
This is exactly why this case is so remarkable. Investigators didn't uncover the truth with dramatic shootouts or movie-style interrogations. They simply followed the money. Bank records became witnesses. Wire transfers became evidence. Financial documents told a cold, hard story that human memory or high-priced lawyers just could not erase. It proves that evidence does not care about power. It doesn't care about your fancy title, your reputation, or the fact that you work for a billion-dollar institution. Exposing the truth simply means understanding exactly where the money went. Which leaves us with this final question. Can corruption inside major sports ever truly be completely eliminated, or will money always find a way to influence the game? I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this, so please share them in the comments below. This case forever changed how international sports are monitored, and it proved that absolutely no organization is beyond investigation. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel so we can keep bringing you more evidence-based true crime explainers. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Evidence remembers, truth prevails. I'll see you in the next explainer.